With so many card games out there, how do players decide which ones become hot and which ones don't? We know Magic the Gathering is the cornerstone of every card game that's ever existed, and it is the OG. But does that mean that other card games can come out of the blue and actually take the lead spot? We've had card games like Flesh and Blood, but we've had failures like MetaZoo. Well, for today's video, we're going to talk about shard bugs. This is a new TCG game I've never heard of, but the creator of the game, Lewis, sent me some product to open, so I figure let's take a look at this and see what everyone thinks. Hey guys, welcome back. MTG Moxman here. We're talking about shard bugs today. A new game, something new to try. Are you excited? Are you thinking about it? Or have you already stopped watching the video? Very interesting. Well, I'm going to give you my take on this as we go through these box openings, which Lewis, the creator of the game, was nice enough to send to the Moxman to do this whole thing. Yes, this is a promotional video, of course, and we're going to talk about a product that somebody wants to talk about. Now, that being said, though, we're going to go over things in honesty, okay? I don't play the whole game of just buttering up because I've been paid to do so, and anyone who's been on my videos before understands that. I'm going to give you an honest opinion. So before we even crack into these boxes, let's talk about this. In the link on today's video, I'm going to give you the whole thing about where you can find the rules of the game and how to play the game. Lewis has done a good job on the website putting things together. And like everyone out there who creates something, they want it to be successful. They are taking a chance. I can applaud that. I am right down with that. That is an amazing aspiration. So Lewis, the fact you even brought this to life is a crazy success story that nobody can take away from you. So way to go. I'll give you that one right up. Now that being said, just because a game is playable does not mean it's collectible, does not mean it is Magic the Gathering, does not mean it's going to back itself up and become $1 million idea. Of course, Kickstarters and things like this have gone a long way, and there are many successful games that have been around a very long time. But there are lots of failures in between all of that. That being said, this one caught my eye because of the bugs. Okay, when I think of bugs, I immediately think of things like Starship Troopers. I can't help myself, okay? I think about those type of nostalgic moments, and I said, okay, let's give this one a shot. Let's change things up a bit, and we'll go ahead. So here are two products. We got the pre-constructed decks, which of course you can see. We got the different symbols down here. And then, of course, we got the booster box, which I've kind of already opened up a little bit, so we can dive into it pretty quickly. Now, the idea of this is that there's like different alliances of bugs. You've got your kind of like avatar you got to follow. And of course, it's got, you know, the three. It's like Sol, Luna, and Mars, if I remember the play-by thing. All right, and these deities of the bugs are trying to get servitude from their followers and get things going. So it's interesting. Strategic game like everything else. It's going to be a nice mix-up. So now let's take a look. Because if you're interested, you're going to go take a look at the links and dive into this stuff. You're going to have to ask your local store if they're going to carry this product or if they can carry it and get their hands on it. And then, of course, I'm sure there's other content creators out there putting these videos together too. Looks like Lewis has really covered his bases with this stuff. So let's take a look at what we're actually diving into. So first off, anyone who's been... Did I open this? Yeah, there we go. Anyone who's been around a while has seen lots of different card games come and go. All right, we got a seal on this bad boy. I probably didn't think about this ahead of time, but that's okay. We got a nice little seal. Obviously, this reminds you of like a Magic collector box. So inside, okay, since I don't know what's inside these, we've got a nice little, yeah, it's like an animation of a bug. All right, we got a little barcode there. Take a look at that. You've got the how to play rules. I like how that's all done. By the way, this is a play mat for the game. It has different things like the deck zone. You got your avatar zone. You got your hive and then your battlefield, of course. This, I guess, is a play thing. Yeah, it's like a whole little... just you have a way to play the game right away. It's got your own little play mat, okay? First, there you go. We got our dice, which is, you know what? Let's take a closer look at it for a second. I mean, it looks like Lewis has covered all of his bases. The dice is pretty sharp-edged compared to things you would see now. No fault in the actual material, so that's kind of cool. Inside here, we have 3 pre-constructed decks, okay? Now, decks, just like in Magic, these things are 60 cards. There are some different rules for this, though, when you look inside these things. We'll open one up to take a look, though. You have to remember that every game's going to have variations on rules. Can I even open this thing? Variations on rules of how you play a game, and everything's going to be a little bit more unique, a little bit different, try different things. The idea of bugs is always kind of fascinating, though. It reminds me of, you know, being in school as a kid. This is Luna that we're taking a look at. Luna right there. And there's Luna, I guess, right there as your avatar. Can I open this sideways? Oh my god, this reminds... Okay, guys, anyone who's played Magic a long time, tell me this doesn't remind you of revised starter decks. We're going back in the day. So, Lewis, let's see what your game looks like here, buddy. Now, I did go through the tutorial. It's pretty easy to follow. I got the idea of where the game is played. Okay. Now, you'll see down here these symbols. See those symbols? When you see the different symbols, that's how many you can have in your deck. Okay, it tells you how many you can play within a deck. When you see like a 3 or a 4, that's how many you're allowed in your deck. When you see a 1, like your avatar, you can only have 1 in your deck. Okay? So here, let's take a closer look here. Backs of the cards, typical. Yes, I smelled it. Actually, it's not a horrible smell, which is kind of nice. Artwork-wise on the first one here, I got no problem with that. A ribbon leech. Okay, so still following the whole bug thing. Now, as with anything, art can be very subjective depending on what you like. This is kind of like a comic book style art. Looks like Lewis has gone for. But the actual like bomber bot fly and stuff, the writing, the text, very neat, very crisp, easy to read. The art, of course, that's the subjective part. Some of this thing I would like, and probably a few of these pictures I'm not going to like. Glowworm okay, like stuff like that, the glowworm galvanizer, that kind of stuff reminds me of army ants, like a vintage toy thing. And as with anything, guys, trying a new game out doesn't mean that you're taking away from a different game you've enjoyed playing. I said that before, like Flesh and Blood and stuff. I've played all these games. I've tried them out. Warlord, one of our patrons on the channel, gave me like a Warlord thing to try. I've tried these games, and I've actually gone back to a few of them and played as a casual thing because we all need... boot. We all need a different way of trying things out and experiencing different hobbies and games. It doesn't mean you don't love your original game as much. It just means it's something else to play, like any board game or anything else you try. Now, a lot of players, a lot of people, like Lewis, trying to invent something new, that takes a lot of know-how, a lot of gumption, a lot of guts to try that stuff out. Now let's open the pack here. And I can appreciate that. I'm not going to take that away, like I said. It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing or a good thing to try something new. Everyone's different. Myself, as you guys know, I'm more than happy to try games out, but I'm not in the habit of expanding myself into some crazy new hobby without some lifespan behind it, unless it's just for playing. The box topper pack. I guess we'll open that one at the end. One prize card inside. Okay, so this is like the special one. And I guess we have all these packs here to open up. And I guess this, when I read the box here, right, we got 24 booster packs, Bugs at War. I would have done a little more detail in the box there, Lewis, in terms, but I like the fact you got a little bit of the text at the back telling people about it, as well as where to get the stuff. 2024, I guess that's like part of the Kickstarter stuff. So that part, again, not bad so far. I mean, the cards are well made, right? They have the feel of other card games I've experienced that are like this type. And let's see how these packs go. All right. So we'll take a look at this closer. When this bug is splat, target enemy splats a card from their hand. Now remember, I think in this game, if I recall, you are actually trying to like gather a certain amount of points to win the game. Like it's like 20, I think it is, right? And there's like dust and stuff. And there's other things that can take away what you're trying to do, which is interesting, like depending on how you play your game and how you build your deck. So you got to keep that stuff in mind, that as with any game, you're going to have to read everything, right? I know it's the 60 card deck. I know you've got your people there. I know the little symbols on the side say how many you can have, right? So if you see 5 there, it's like common. You can have 5 copies. If there's 4, that's an uncommon. If it's 3, it's a rare. If it's 2, it's a cosmic rare. And if it's 1, it is an avatar. And that means you can only have 1 of that thing in your deck. Okay, so in this case, you could have 5 of these, right? Because this is a common. Then we've got the Flyby Ranger. Oh, Flyby Ranger's funny. Flyby Danger, that's cute. A Cedar Sanctifier. Like, see, artwork like this I can get behind. I got no problem with that. A cloth moth, okay. A desert locust. Imagine how much time it takes to put this in the artist to do all the drawings. A rusty nail. That's funny, using it as a weapon. Oh, I like that one. Hold on. A sapphire droid. You know what? That's pretty good art. I can applaud that one. That's an uncommon, right? Because it's 4. It's an uncommon. And they got... Okay, here's a 3. This is Toki the Brave. Again, this is like a legendary, I guess, because it has an individual name to it. trait. It has its resist, power and toughness, right? How much damage they have. Oh, and then there's the 3 types, right? So as far as I understand this, you have like the 3 types and they get bonuses against each other and then negatives against each other type. Because you have bonus against one and negatives against other. It kind of reminds me of that game back in the day, Battle Beasts, right? It was like a toy you buy with the 3 different symbols, which this reminds me of that. And then when you think of the Battle Beast toys, they had air, wood, and fire, water, air, and fire, and each one had could beat the other one. This reminds me of that. You get bonuses to fight. Oh, that's kind of cool. Blood Hunter. Yeah, some of this stuff almost reminds me of One Punch Man. When I see images like that from the thing, a lot of 5s here, man. It looks like, I mean, this so far not a lot of duplication. A woolly bear. Okay, that's an uncommon. Oh, here's a 2. Dave, a hired sword. You know what? That is not... Take a close look at that, guys. That's not bad. I mean, when I look at the individual games I play with my friends, we've tried stuff like this out. We've had fun. We played the Transformers TCG. We've tried... what was it? we did try some of the really failed ones back in the day. When you look back at... what was some of those we played? We played Overpower. And by the way, some of these games, again, even when they go out of style... So even if a game fails, it doesn't mean it's worthless. You can still play this thing for 20 years. All right, we got the For the Cause. That's not bad. You know what? Let me check that. This is closer on this one before us. These are kind of... These aren't bad foilings. Not bad, man. I'm not sure who he used to do the... I'm sure I could find out. I probably should have asked a couple of questions about some of the stuff where it was created and stuff, where they made it, but still. When I think about the... Oh, there's that Blood Hunter again. So, okay, now we're starting to get some repetition. I wonder how big the set is. Does it say? Does it say how big the set is? 110? Yeah, there's 110 cards in the set, it looks like. Oh, there's like a foil Luna of your avatar. Oh, that's cool. I mean, I wonder how hard some of these things are to find. I know they said there was like serialized cards and stuff, so I'm not sure how that all plays out, but I find so far, artwork's fine. I know when I played the online tutorial thing, that was not a horrible thing to play, right? It was pretty informative and let you know what was going on. There's a little storyline going in the backdrop. So again, feel free to check that out and see if you enjoy trying something new. Some people are really into new games. You know, when you have like a game night with friends, having something like this around is not going to hurt you at all. Again, I would stray away from the idea, though, unless a game gets past the 5-year mark. What is with these packs, man? Lewis, these are hard to open. Unless you get past that 5-year, the collectibility thing is very hard to define, right? You got to get past 5 years. You have to have a solid player base. The good news is, from what I understand, and the stores I've looked this up to see what they've got for sale, this game does exist in LGSs. Of course, you can go to the website. But at the same time, it doesn't look like it's overly expensive. I'm dropping stuff everywhere. It doesn't seem like it's overly expensive, which is good. I mean, as with anything, trying a new game out, you don't want to put an arm and a leg into the thing. You want to be able to play it, enjoy it, and then, again, there's expansions to this thing, by the way, as well. This isn't the only one. There's other expansion sets. So the idea that they've done that as well, which is nice. The idea that you could go on and go further and play further into a series of a game is nice. We always like expansions. We like to know it's not just a one and done, because, you know, strategies can become very linear. You want to know that the thing's been, well, that's not bad too. Melba the Scar? Like, I don't know, that kind of reminds me almost like World War Hulk. I like that. You know what? Okay, some of this stuff's not bad. You know what? Whoever you got to do the art, that stuff's not bad. Not too shabby at all. I can only imagine how much it takes to actually put a game together. And the idea of bugs fighting, I kind of enjoy. It reminds me of Army Ants. It reminds me of stuff like that. The Blessings of Luna. Okay, that's a little more... Like, when I see stuff like that, that does not really appeal to me, okay? Worm Warrior. I'm just saying that kind of artwork never did. But the overall feel of the set and the idea of bugs battling it out, for Supremacy, I can get behind that. I can get behind the idea of that and say to myself, and again, there'll be a lot of... Oh, that's kind of cool. A lot of things will seem familiar, right? When you know a lot of games, you just got to do slight modifications. It's like, well, you know, playing a regular game of cards. When people play different styles of games, from Solitaire to Crazy Eights, you can try something new. This one will probably offer the similar experience, right? Especially at the beginning. And then, of course, if they keep doing expansions and the game can grow, that's a cool thing. That's what Kickstarters are all about. Being able to grow your game and get in there is a very cool thing to indulge in. And the fact that somebody brought a game to life that they had a vision of, I can only applaud that. That is a hard one to understand. The Delia. What it takes to... Oh, that's cool, too. Like, some of these are nice, man. And again, I don't really know how rare is for this set. I don't know how difficult these things are to get overall. We're not going to pretend that I do, because I don't. But I can at least say that, Lewis, this... I mean, I know it's playable, because I watched the tutorial. And I saw the ways of gathering things together and the forward and backward of everything. Oh, there's Soul. Right, that's kind of nice. I mean, with the avatars, I guess that kind of reminds me of the single things like Flesh and Blood, your hero, right? So I like the idea of that. Building them up and having bonuses and benefits for each one. I mean, I guess you could expand into other ones later on, I guess, if the game keeps growing. Right? The Blessings of Soul. That's kind of cool, too. Oh, it has a feel to it. This one has a feel. Right? Support. What does that say? Support event. Once per turn, target. Oh, okay. Different things for the game. Very cool. Packaging is firm, I can tell you that. And it's got little bits of nostalgic reminder, though. Like that reminded me of a revised booster, an alpha, opening it back in the day. Oh, let's get to that foil. Yeah, like even that outer edge foiling, I kind of like that. I mean, I wonder. You know, maybe I'll get me and Mini Mox to try this actually out. Build our own decks and just see how it works. I'll give that one a shot. Maybe I'll put some comments later and let you guys know how that worked out. Because the idea of that is pretty cool. We've got a couple more packs here to open, guys. But again, if you're interested, let's not forget that you're supporting someone if you like the idea of the game. No one has to do it, of course. It's up to you. But the idea behind any new game is trying something a little bit of a twist, a little bit something new, but also putting in something that you remember or are familiar with, which this one definitely had that feeling. Black Locust. Love it. Instead of a Black Lotus, get it? Black Locust. Yeah, you guys get that one. So did I. I got that reference. Old Man Moxman was totally there. Bug Collection. Yeah, like Ant Warrior. That's kind of cool. I'm not fond of that particular artwork. That art I like. This, I kind of like. The kiddie-ish art reminds me of like MetaZoo. Okay? And we all know how MetaZoo ended. So keep that stuff in mind. Don't collect it because you think it's going to go up in value. But if you want to play a new game, that I totally applaud and get behind. I like the idea of new games. I like experiencing new games. And I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. And since the games don't cost an arm and a leg in this case, they don't cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars, a lot of players can get involved for a very minimal amount of money and still enjoy a nice evening with friends. And hopefully it goes for more than just, a one-night shot. Hopefully you get to have weeks and weeks, or, every few months you crack this stuff back open. Oh, that's right. Commander Orchid. Okay. Beetle Warrior. See, I mean, those guys kind of remind me of like just a little too kiddie-ish. I like more like the idea of like the Starship Troopers theme. I think I almost would have gone more hardcore. Like that looks pretty good. That kind of reminds me of anime like that. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, Century Ants. I'm cool with some of the artwork. Other ones like this don't appeal to me. But see, other ones do. It's funny. Art is so subjective. All right, last pack. Lewis, big shout out, man. Thanks again for supporting the channel, allowing us to experience your product. Anyone who's interested, of course, you can look at the links inside the video. Drop some comments. Let us know how you feel about it. Maybe you've already tried this game. I'd be curious to know. Worm Warrior, not my thing. Guys, thanks again. This is awesome. Thanks a lot for experiencing. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, wait, we got this last pack. Oh, I forgot. We got to open the prize pack. We got to see what this is. Hold up, before I go. All right. This is like the prize support. Okay, we got Luna. Mars. Oh, this okay, it's all the god guys. And then we got, what does this thing say? A Rusty Nail. Oh, we saw this guy before, Rusty Nail. Okay, that's still pretty cool. Look at that. That's just like a prize one. I mean, that's not like I don't see any numbers or anything, so I'm sure it's not serialized or anything like I heard about, but still, very cool. Thanks again, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Drop some comments in there. And Lewis, thanks again, buddy. What an awesome product that you created. Amazing. Guys, don't worry. We'll be back tomorrow with another video. Hey guys, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons of the channel. Because of them, daily uploaded content is made possible. If it wasn't for the patrons and YouTube membership members, it wouldn't happen. And of course, to the Shardbugs creator, Lewis, thanks again for supporting this paid promotion video. It's going to be awesome. I hope you enjoy being here with us for this video. And you know what, guys? It's always cool to try out new things. Just always keep your budget in mind. And this one, well, it's pretty affordable.